We need a discussion about Doomsday. What the fuck? I fixed.
What's happening, chat? How is everyone doing on this Saturday evening? We got a good one for you. All kinds of fun stuff to dive into. We got Call of Duty game, a big old update on that movie. Call of Duty movie based off the Call of Duty game, which used to be super popular. Still reasonably popular, but used to be much, much bigger. Um, and then it would appear Netflix has joined the fray around the purchase of Warner Brothers. And Chris Gore, the guy who did have the chair reveal scoop, has given details on the Doomsday trailer. We're going to go over all of that stuff. We're going to break it all down right here in the basement. So fill your cup and let your smoke, because it's time to get nerdy. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the basement here on this Saturday evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope your week, the back half of your week, has gone well. Hope things are good with everybody. We got Spicy Dan up in here, Leia and Brooke. What's going on, y'all? How are things with everyone? Been a pretty decent back half of the week over here. Nothing major went on, which kind of is what makes it decent. You know, just a couple days of work, and then went got my COVID shot today. Then went and hung out with the granddaughter some more. The new one, the only one. I actually haven't gotten to that yet, Brooke. I have not yet gotten to Visions. Welcome to Dairy's pretty good. Cool. Cool. The fuck is everybody? I swear, if they're overwatching Brutal right now, I should go fuck with them. Oh man, but yeah, so no, not pretty decent last couple of days. I'm only I mean, to say that you can go totally without complaint is a rare thing. I mean, I could throw a couple minor complaints in there, but that's just what they are. Minor. Well, in the grand scheme of things, they're minor. In the immediate time, I was fucking raging, but overall, minor. Yes, thank you, Brooke. Don't forget to join the Discord and hit the like. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe and the bell. I'd really appreciate it. It'd be cool. More terrifying than the movies? Nice. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know what? I probably should have led with the Netflix shit on the thumbnail and the title. I swear, people just don't give a fuck about Doomsday anymore, bro. Like, they really, really don't. You know, I was gonna lead with the Netflix thing and tie it into the Snyderverse just to trigger all the Snyder Bros. Nope. My Marvel-y head went with fucking Doomsday. Oh, and I even misspelled Doomsday. God damn it. That doesn't help either. Oh, Jesus Christ. There, fixed it. I fixed it. Shows up on the back end now. Yep. Yay. Fully fixed. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. All right. Well, give me some Wawa. May as well just jump right on into this shit. So we shall begin with this article from Reuters, which caused a bit of a hullabaloo when it dropped. And we'll get into all that. But let us go over this article first. And again, this is from Reuters. Long-standing, very respectable journalistic company. Exclusive. Netflix taps bank to explore bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Here we go. Netflix is actively exploring a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery's studio and streaming businesses. Retaining a financial advisor and gaining access to financial information, according to 3 sources familiar with the matter. The video streaming service has hired Moelis & Company, the investment bank that advised Skydance Media on its successful bid for Paramount Global, to evaluate a prospective offer, 2 of the sources said. Okay, so we're down a source on that one. Netflix also has been granted access to the data room, which contains the financial details needed to make a bid, according to 2 of the sources familiar with the matter. Warner Brothers Discovery and Moelis declined to comment. Netflix could not be reached for comment. They never. That's always the way it is. Either there's declining or they can't be reached. Owning Warner Brothers studio business would give Netflix control over some of Hollywood's most successful stories and characters, including the Harry Potter and DC Comics franchises. Warner Brothers' prolific television studio also produces many of Netflix's hits, including original series like Running Point, You, and Made. HBO and its companion streaming service would add more prestige dramas, and subscribers. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos told investors last week that while the company is traditionally more builders than buyers, it does evaluate acquisitions based on criteria such as the size of the opportunity and whether it would strengthen the company's entertainment offering. Sarandos indicated Netflix would not be interested in acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery's cable television network, which includes CNN, TNT, Food Network, and Animal Planet. We've been very clear in the past that we have no interest in owning legacy media networks, Sarandos said in the company's third quarter investor video. There is no change there. Warner Brothers Discovery announced last week that it would begin evaluating options after receiving a trio of unsolicited offers from Paramount Skydance to acquire the entire company. And side note, the trio all got rejected. The company said its board would consider whether to move forward with its planned split, which would separate the Warner Brothers Film and Television Studios, HBO, and the companion HBO Max streaming service from its television business, or pursue a sale of all or parts of the company. Comcast President Mike Kavanaugh told investors on Thursday the company is evaluating media assets that would be complementary to its existing business. He also appeared to dismiss those who are skeptical of Comcast winning regulatory approval, saying more things are viable than maybe some of the public commentary that's out there. All right. So, Netflix at least appears to be getting pretty fucking serious about this Warner Brothers shiz. Now, it's long been rumored that at first the news was they weren't going to enter the fray. They had no interest. And then it was like, well, maybe they will. Maybe they're kind of doing some stuff behind the scenes. Maybe they will after all. And then now, ba-boom. They're not only considering making an offer, they've hired the same bank that helped the Ellisons, who owned Skydance at the time, to buy Paramount. Well, it's now Skydance Paramount. So that bank has already, been a big help to a purchase very similar to this one. Now, as we know, Paramount, again, has made 3 bids to Warner Brothers. And those bids, mind you, are for the entire company. The stuff Netflix wants and the regular TV shit that they do not want. Paramount's trying to get all of it. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference right there. But yeah, we have not heard any kind of news about Paramount getting access to the data room, which Netflix got access to. Again, that contains the financial details needed to make a bid. So, Warner Brothers, as far as we know, did not give Paramount this opportunity. They let Netflix take a peek behind the scenes. They actually let them peek at the books, under the hood, as it were. Netflix might now have numbers, knowledge that up until now only Warner Brothers had. That's some serious shit. Like, that's some really serious stuff. Like, if you're hiring the bank that helps Skydance get Paramount, and you're all up in Warner Brothers' data room, man. Now, they're, needless to say, Hollywood is shitting their pants at this prospect. The main reason is Netflix has been, for the most part, pretty anti-theater release for its movies. Now, they will drop some. They've dropped a few in limited release. And they also recently, within the last month, finally buried the hatchet and made an arrangement with AMC. So they do have a pipeline to AMC and a couple other big movie chains whose names escape me right now. So they have their own pipeline to theaters at this point. Now, were they to buy Warner Brothers studio and all that shit, well, that was on the list. So like the studio, HBO, HBO Max. Um, now if if they do manage to get Warner Brothers, that would actually give them even more pipelines to theaters. Now Hollywood, because of Netflix's mostly anti-theater stance, at least when it comes to his own projects, they are firmly convinced that if Netflix gets its paws on the IP of Warner Brothers Discovery, uh, that we're going to lose out on a whole lot of, or at least theaters are going to lose out on a lot of movies coming out of Warner Brothers Studios or whatever. If Netflix decides to let them keep the name for fancy accounting reasons or whatever, but they're freaked out that anything that Warner Brothers makes under Netflix will never hit a movie theater. Or if it does, it'll be for such a ridiculously small amount of time that, it'll almost not even be worth it to put it out there. Which, of course, a big old studio like that, they put out a lot of fucking movies. So Hollywood's freaking out. Theaters are freaking out. Fans of theater, fans of cinema, they're all freaking out. Like, a lot. What up, Delta Dan? A lot of people do not want Netflix to be the ones who get Warner Brothers Studios, or at least the IP. Because, again, they don't want the TV shit at all. They don't want any of the cable channels, none of that. They just want the studio, the IP it controls, HBO Max, and the HBO Max platform, which they'll probably end up doing what Disney did with Hulu and ESPN and just fold it all into the one thing. So, but yeah. Now on the HBO side, that won't make a difference. Just Netflix just won't have to fucking license shit from Warner Brothers anymore, which will, in the long term, save them money. Very long term. So again, there are indications. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Netflix actually is building its own brick and mortar theaters. Now, that's cool for people who want to see movies in theaters. That's not cool for Hollywood because Netflix just bypassed all their distributors and shit. They're just like, hey, here's our shit. Oh, look, there's our theater. Cut out the middleman. Hollywood not fond of that. Theater chains not fond of that. But again, Netflix buried the hatchet with AMC recently. They already had arrangements with two of the other big movie chains. I think Regal's one of them. I don't know what the other one is. So Netflix seems to be at least somewhat reversing its anti-theater stance. I mean, if they weren't, why would they have bothered ending their feud with AMC? Why would they be bothering to build their own theaters? I mean, obviously they're nowhere near as anti-theater as they used to be. Now, mind you, I'm not saying they're going to go whole hog and just be like, oh, we're a movie studio now. We're going to do it the way Hollywood's always done it. That's not going to happen either. Real Cinemark. Thank you. I think you're right. Thank you, Delta Dan. So yeah, there's no way Netflix is going to go whole hog and just turn into another Hollywood movie studio. That's definitely not their goal. But at least to me, the reconciliation with AMC, building their own theaters, already having deals with Regal and Cinemark, so now they have deals with I think the three biggest movie or theater chains in America. That tells me they're at least going to be what's the phrase I'm looking for? They'll be much less averse to putting their products in theaters. And again, not to mention the fact that if they want to increase their distribution, they'll be able to just use the already existing pipeline that Warner Brothers Studios has. instantly doubling or more their own pipeline. So I think Hollywood is a little over worried about that aspect of it, but it still won't be the same as how the rest of the Hollywood studios operate. It will not be the same. They'll be, I can guarantee, Netflix might put more stuff in theaters, but I can also virtually guarantee they'll all be limited releases. Like they're movies that Netflix makes, whether it's under the Netflix banner, the Warner Brothers banner, or whatever. I virtually guarantee that you're not going to see those bitches in theaters for 6-8 weeks. You'll get 2 to 4, and then it'll be on their platform streaming. Because unlike the rest of Hollywood studios, they're not that concerned with making a shit ton from theaters. Their main desire is to keep getting money from subscribers. That's how they've done it till this point. That's how they're going to continue to want to do it. So, like I said, Hollywood's worries are somewhat justified, but I don't think it's going to be the complete fucking catastrophe that they think it is for theaters either. Unless Netflix just makes dope ass theaters that eclipse anything that currently exists and price them more reasonably than anything that currently exists. At that point, yeah, regular ass theater chains better start watching their tail feathers. So, yeah, Netflix getting Warner Brothers, still not great for Hollywood. Not as bad as I think some of them think it's going to be, but definitely still not great. Not for the traditional Hollywood system. However, and we get to what I probably should have put on the thumbnail. I'm stubborn and I don't want to admit that people don't give 2 fucks about Doomsday right now. Excuse me. Anyway, there is one group that is super duper motherfucking stoked about the possibility of Netflix getting Warner Brothers. There's a group who is salivating, drooling, possibly busting out the lube for some quality time with themselves. And that is Snyder fans. They are super duper excited at the prospect of Netflix obtaining DC. Why? Because Zack Snyder still has a contract with them to make some shit. Zack Snyder is tight with Netflix. Although, I had forgotten this until Josh brought it up. Zack's also tight with Paramount because he's making that UFC movie for him. And UFC is moving to Paramount in 2 months. So, but yeah, Snyder Bros are like messing themselves and making loads and loads of socks crusty at the mere thought of Netflix getting DC. You know, it'd be hilarious though if Netflix did get Warner Brothers and got DC, and then they're like, "Hey, you know what? We're cool with James Gunn." Oh my god, the virtual screams would echo round the globe if Netflix buys Warner Brothers and then keeps James Gunn. Oh, the thought of that brings me joy. Not because I'm a big old James Gunn fan or I think he's like killing it with the DCU. The Snyder Bros are just annoying. Now, I am a Zack Snyder fan. I love the DCEU. I love the Snyderverse. Well, except for like the Flash and Aquaman too. But, you know, the good parts of the Snyderverse, which is pretty much the rest of it, chilling likey a lot. But the Snyder Bros are annoying as fuck. So I would definitely be filled with joy and jocularity if Netflix bought Warner Brothers. They all started throwing a global party, and then Netflix announces they're keeping James Gunn. Oh my goodness gracious, that would be fucking amazing. Just because I'm petty and snarky, I would love that shit. Like, if you're going to be a massive prick, I hope you do get fucked over. Spicy Dan. Like, for real. If you're an annoying piece of shit like that, I hope you get fucked over. I hope you get fucked over. That would be hilarious. So, but yeah, Netflix making serious moves. Now, will it amount to anything? Who knows? No, I guarantee it's making fucking daddy's ass happy. Because so far, he's gotten 3 low ball offers from Paramount. Now, granted, that's Paramount's offers, again, are for the whole kit and caboodle. Netflix doesn't want the legacy media shit. They don't want the cable stuff at all, except HBO. But they don't want like the Discovery Channel and all that, and all that related stuff. They want none of that. They don't want CBS. They don't want the news networks. They want none of that. All they want is the IP and the studio and the streaming platform. And that's it. Now, Warner Brothers still has not, unless I read that wrong, they still haven't actually done the split yet. It's still on the table. Yeah, no, they still haven't done it. They're still kind of planning on it. But they haven't done it yet. Yeah, so if they do split, Netflix would only want part. They want Game of Thrones and DC, yes, and also Harry Potter. And also Harry Potter. So yeah, Hollywood's clutching its pearls. Gun fans are clutching their pearls. Snyder Bros are flicking theirs. The price is about to go up. Paramount's going to actually have to get serious if they want this shit now. Because that, like, the part that's tripping me out the most is the fact that Warner Brothers gave Netflix access to their data room, which is where, like, all the real numbers live. Like, the ones we never get to see, the ones the trades never get to see, the ones the tracking companies never get to see. Netflix got to see those. That's crazy. We haven't heard any reports of Paramount getting that kind of access. Paramount's just chucking low ball offers. Now, Paramount's going to have to reevaluate their approach. Because this is some serious moves from Netflix and Zaslav. Now, whether or not Zaslav even wants Netflix to purchase stuff, who knows? But he is damn happy that Netflix is making these moves. Because it's going to force Skydance Paramount Skydance, the Ellisons. It's going to force them to knock off that lowball bullshit they've been trying right now and actually fucking, put some real money on the table. So this just got interesting. Just like the overall situation got interesting, and the potential implications just got really interesting. Now remember at the tail end of that article, they also brought up NBC, Comcast, Universal. Now, if you guys remember way, way back, what up, Griff? I remember way, way back when Daddy Zaz first took over. The writing was already on the wall that he was basically looking to set that bitch up for a sale. And the leader in speculation back then was NBC Universal. Like the educated, knowledgeable talking heads back then, as soon as they, as soon as it became basically known but not officially known that Daddy Zaz was there basically to get the value of Warner Brothers Discovery up to get that bitch sold, their analysis had NBC Universal in the lead from jump. And then now we have this comment from the CEO. Okay, yeah, the Comcast president. He flat out said, more things are viable than maybe some of the public commentary that's out there. So in his mind, A, they're still thinking about throwing their hat in the ring. And funny Delta ban. Good one, Griff. So in his mind, they're still in it. Despite what he says, when he's talking about some of the public commentary, he's talking about the obvious fact that everyone knows that the Ellisons and Trump are, they're close ties with the Trump administration. Put them in the lead. That fucking article that came out in the New York Post with that high level Trump aide saying that they favor Paramount highly over anybody else, and anybody else that tries to buy Warner Brothers should be very careful about it. So I assume that's the public commentary that the Comcast president was talking about. Problem is said public commentary, some of that came from the fucking White House itself. So I don't know why this dude is so confident, but I don't know. Maybe he has an in with the administration as well. It's just obviously if he does, it's nowhere near as well known as the Ellisons. So yeah, things are getting real interesting. Netflix is throwing its hat in the ring in a big way, and looks like NBC, Comcast, Universal, however many more names that motherfucking company has, are not as out of the race as we once thought it would seem. So the situation is heating up. But what's even more interesting, and I didn't pull the video up, but same day this story broke about the Netflix thing, CNBC came out. Now this was speculative, I believe, but CNBC was saying that this sale, this whole Warner Brothers thing. Now, mind you, whatever sale I'm about to talk about will not be officially official until it gets through all the regulatory agencies and shit. Not that that'll take long if it's Paramount, but I guess the phrase would be better be initial sale until it's fully approved. But CNBC was saying the initial sale will probably be done before Christmas. Think about it, chat. Less than 2 months, we could know who's buying Warner Brothers and how much of it they're buying. Because again, Netflix only wants parts of it. From what the Comcast president said, they only want parts of it. Paramount's the only one bidding on the whole kit and caboodle right now. Now, if Netflix is driving up the price, and then Comcast jumps in and they start driving up the price, Paramount might not want the legacy shit either. They may just go after the studio and the streaming and the IP. Things are very much in flux right now. Griff says, I imagine the WGA would fight Netflix even harder, considering that Netflix could possibly damage the theater experience even further. I mean, yeah, that's definitely possible. Right now, the WGA is, yeah, I mean, it'd be the same logic as Paramount. The WGA is just anti-condensing. Period. Doesn't matter who's doing the condensing. So I don't know if they fight Netflix even. Well, yeah, maybe harder because Netflix would be removing even more than Paramount would probably. So yeah, but yeah, in general, WGA is just gonna fight the sale, whoever it ends up being, Paramount, uh, Netflix, NBC Universal, whoever it is, they're gonna be suing and all that shit. Now, again, if/when it comes to the courts, the fight between the WGA and insert entity company name here is going to end up at the Supreme Court. And if it's Paramount, just tell you with Trump, that suit gets to the Supreme Court, which has a 6-3 majority conservative. WGA is fucked. Personally, I think the WGA is fucked no matter who the sale's going to. Like, honestly. Because when it boils down to it, the right group of people is going to benefit from this sale no matter what, no matter who it is. So, I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court's going to find against the WGA no matter who the purchaser is. WGA is just straight fucked. The smart ones in there know it already. Not going to stop them from trying. But the smart ones in the WGA already know. How do I know that they know? Because I know. And I am way outside that shit. Way outside. But if I can put the pieces together, if I can connect the dots, they should be more than able to connect the same motherfucking dots and follow the same motherfucking logic. That would be no matter what, the WGA's fucked. They ain't gonna be able to stop shit. So. What do you guys think, though? Any more thoughts on the whole Netflixy thing? And Comcast still kind of being in it, and just like all the developments that are going to be very interesting to watch. How you guys feeling about that? Are you interested in this shit? I think it's dope. And besides, it involves shit that we love, like DC and Harry Potter, and the Game of Thrones franchise. That's all our nerdy shit. So it behooves us to keep track of what the fuck's going to happen to it, and who's going to be in charge of it, and then who they're going to hire. This consolidation of big companies into even bigger companies, sort of a trend. Yeah. People trying to consolidate control. Oh, yeah. Yeah, people with power are always trying to consolidate more power for themselves. Doesn't matter what the arena is, politics, finance, Hollywood. That's always the goal. That is always. I think most of media is dominated by the big six media, right? I don't even know if there's six. I mean, there's NBC. You got ABC, but that's under the Disney umbrella. CBS, which is under Paramount. Fox, which is its own thing. Well, NBC's under Universal. So NBC's under a Hollywood studio. Fox, which is a Hollywood studio under Disney. Actually, you know what? I don't. Is Fox News under the Disney umbrella? Like all Fox? I kind of don't think it is, considering. No. Okay. So when Disney got 21st Century Fox, they didn't get all of it, and so some of that shit spun off under just the Fox Corporation, and that's what Fox News is under. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, 20th Century Fox is under Disney. That section of Fox is its own thing. Time Warner. Time Warner even still a thing? Well, Warner is Warner Brothers, which is about to be no more. Oh yeah, Sony. Well, News Corp is under, or if not just now, Fox Corp. Yeah, Sony. Yeah, it would. Yeah, outside the only media that's not dominated by those is like new media. Podcasters, YouTubers, that kind of thing. Yeah, all legacy media is underneath all that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now we are going to go over another story about Taylor Sheridan, which I'm going to tie back into the Warner Brothers sale. What the fuck does Taylor Sheridan have to do with the Warner Brothers sale? Well, I will tell you. First, we're going to go over this article. Paramount never made Taylor Sheridan an offer to stay. How TV's biggest partnership fell apart. David Ellison was in an upbeat mood. Paramount's new owner was on a private jet with his top executive team, including President Jeff Shell and Paramount Pictures co-chairs Dana Goldberg and Josh Greenstein, and had just sat down with the man who is the centerpiece of Paramount's TV content strategy, Taylor Sheridan. The studio brass had flown to Texas to court Sheridan on his sprawling ranch shortly after the merger between Skydance Media and Paramount Global was finalized in August. Their objective was clear: make Taylor Sheridan feel as if he's in good hands with this new leadership group. They thought the meeting went well. A source who spoke with one of the execs in attendance joked that the Paramount brass couldn't keep up with him being Sheridan, as the drinks flowed while Sheridan uncorked bottles. So evidently Taylor Sheridan drank the Paramount brass under the table. Not important, but just kind of fun. Yet on Sunday, this past Sunday, that being the 26th, the news broke that Sheridan was jumping ship to NBC Universal for a deal worth as much as $1 billion. Not guaranteed, as much as. Depending on Sheridan's creative output during a 5-year contract starting in 2029. So remember that. He's not officially all the way there until 2029. He'll also have the opportunity to make films of all sizes with NBC Universal starting next year. So, partially gone initially, all the way gone in 4 years. This seismic poach has sent the industry scrambling to answer a simple question. How did Paramount, the studio with the deepest pockets that recently inked massive long-term agreements with South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and a film and TV deal with the Duffer Brothers. Yeah, don't forget about that. Stranger Things homies are going to Paramount. Failed to lock up one of the industry's biggest talents with an arguably perfect track record. But perhaps a better question is, how much did Paramount actually want to keep him? From Sheridan's perspective, the partnership was rocky even before the merger. The writer, producer, director had been frustrated by Paramount's film division, which had rejected a feature script of his titled Capture the Flag. And when Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav courted Sheridan this year by offering to dust off his action thriller script Fast, Sheridan ran into a roadblock when Paramount initially refused to let the rival studio make the film. Paramount wanted a 50-50 split, sources say, and was rebuffed, though it eventually let the film go forward. 1923 star Brandon Splenaro was cast in the lead, which also had to sting Paramount a bit. Once the studio changed hands, Paramount didn't give Sheridan a heads up that it signed Nicole Kidman for a new series that could, in theory, conflict with her shooting schedule for his drama Lioness. Yellowstone famously fell behind partly due to star Kevin Costner committing to another project, so Sheridan has some history of being dealt major headaches with talent schedule conflict. A source familiar with the situation says Paramount had planned to speak with Sheridan regarding the Kidman announcement, but that Sheridan first learned about it through a dinner with the actress before they had the chance. But even that reasoning speaks to the studio not quite prioritizing its relationship with Sheridan. In addition, Sheridan bristled at criticisms of his spending, particularly on Lioness, which received a belated and what now looks like a last-ditch effort to salvage the relationship third season renewal a few weeks back. And then there was that meeting between Sheridan and a crew of Paramount executives, a bombardment of brass tactics that felt cumbersome for the creative. It wasn't a bad meeting, says the source in Sheridan's orbit. They should have come with 3 people, Ellison and 2 others, and then sat down and really tried to connect with Taylor. That would have meant a lot. One insider pushed back on the idea that the executive team effort was Paramount's idea, noting that 101 Studios CEO David Glasser set the guest list. 101 Studios is also Sheridan's company. Paramount, NBC Universal, 101 Studios, and Sheridan had no comment for the story. Either way, somebody else had been courting Sheridan with a more low-key style. NBC Universal's savvy entertainment and studios boss, Donna Langley, who had multiple meetings with the hitmaker over the summer and who gradually became the Sheridan Whisperer. Initially, Langley approached Sheridan about a film deal, but the conversation expanded to include television and streaming in August when it became clear he was having serious doubts about re-upping his TV deal with the new Paramount. When a contract is worth $1 billion, it may seem foolish to think Sheridan's decision might have been more personal than financial. But Sheridan values his independence to a rather enormous degree. The Hollywood Reporter's cover story on Sheridan 2 years ago was titled Taylor Sheridan Does Whatever He Wants, and that declaration has aged rather well. So it seems rather possible that Sheridan being put off by the Paramount team's approach could have been a significant factor. On the Paramount side, meanwhile, Ellison is used to getting his own way. He is, after all, the son of the world's second richest man, Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, who is worth $342 billion. Oh, is that all? One source suggests that Sheridan's controlling nature put off Ellison. Sheridan was running the asylum that was Paramount Plus, the source says, claiming the previous regime had essentially ceded control of the platform to him and that Sheridan didn't want any accountability. Ellison wants to run the show, and he can't with Sheridan there. Streaming service, in other words, wasn't big enough for the both of them. Another speculates that Paramount was getting out of the Sheridan business while the creator was at his peak. My guess is Cindy Holland, who's an adult, started asking some questions, and David Glasser and Taylor were like, we don't need anything questioned when we have these other suitors. All their former contacts at Paramount were fired. They were getting away with a lot. Perhaps the biggest clue to Ellison's mindset was one simple fact. While sources disagree on some of the particulars in the story, all agree Paramount never actually made an offer to lock down Sheridan. Never actually made an offer. Both sides therefore made a sizable gamble. Ellison betting that Sheridan's winning streak is largely over. Langley betting there's plenty of gold left to be mined from the popular writer-director. On Yellowstone, John Dutton once said, it's the one constant in life. You build something worth having, someone's going to try to take it. Langley saw Sheridan as the thing worth having and went ahead and took it. Now, what the fuck does this all have to do with the Warner Brothers sale? Well, the guy, as described in the article, that was practically running Paramount Plus with all his shows, Yellowstone, 1923, 1882, Tulsa King, there's like one or two others, Lioness. There's still like another one or maybe 2 or more that the names of which escape me, and I need a drink of. I'll be right back. So yeah, Taylor Sheridan basically Paramount Plus. So Paramount chose to let NBC Universal buy him for $1 billion for whatever fucking reason. Maybe it was just all Ellison's ego, like the article intimates. Maybe there were other reasons. Who knows? But the bottom line is their fucking streaming platform cash cow is dipping the fuck out, and they apparently didn't even really try and stop him. Oh, okay. Give me a second. Let's launch it. So, for what may be reasons of ego, they did not try and keep their cash cow. Well, the problem with that is what tends to happen to projects of any kind when their creator, for whatever reason, dips. Because, mind you, these shows, I'm pretty sure, belong to Paramount, at least partially. I don't think he's going to be able to pick up all these shows and take them over to fucking NBC Universal and throw them onto Peacock. I don't think that's going to be the case. So these shows are going to stay at Paramount. But what's going to happen to those shows without Taylor Sheridan there? Are they going to try and keep going? That's a risk because without Sheridan there piloting all these boats, what tends to happen in these situations is quality falls off because the people that left are not as good as the actual person. Yeah, he's not all the way gone till 2029. Yeah, he can do movies over there, but yeah. But still, eventually, he's gone. Now, he could be kind enough to end all those shows for Paramount instead of letting them more than likely fumble the bag because that's what the odds are greater with when Sheridan goes. If those shows are still going, they're going to fall off hard, and then Paramount's going to be scrambling to replace them, which they already should be doing right now. But here's the thing: they have no guarantee that whatever they come up with is going to be anywhere near as popular. They're hoping for it, but there's no guarantee. Even if they have a new show that's reasonably well liked, if it's not as popular as Sheridan's shit, they're still taking an L. So what the fuck does all this have to do with the Warner Brothers sale? Well, if the mainstay of your streaming platform is dipping out and his shows are probably all going to tank. Oh, Landman. See, that's one I didn't know the name of. And all that shit's about to fucking tank. Wouldn't you then be interested in maybe getting your hands on some established IP that you know is going to do well right from jump? Wouldn't that be an interesting event if you were able to get your hands on some really already popular IP like, I don't know, Harry Potter or Game of Thrones, DC? Wouldn't you love to have that kind of shit on your platform to maybe make up for the fall off that's going to happen when Taylor Sheridan leaves? Or at least when he stops making his shows for you of any kind? I'd be interested in that to help ease the transition. I'd be very, very interested in that. So yeah, Taylor Sheridan dipping out is another reason for Paramount to get serious. That's how that shit ties back in. Paramount Plus is going to need some new shit, and it's going to need to be good shit. Going to need to be shit that a lot of people are going to watch, like they're watching Taylor Sheridan stuff. Yep. So yeah, that's why Taylor Sheridan going to NBC Universal is an event that actually makes a difference in Paramount's need to get Warner Brothers. That's how that shit be tying in, bro. What do you think? What do you think about that shit? I know it kind of took a little while to get around to it, get to the point, but you know, that shit needed context, bro. And what's crazy, like I didn't even realize they never fucking made him a serious offer. Like they didn't like really try. They had those meetings. They kissed his ass a bit from jump, but then they had, their little tiffs about budgets and control, and they just never fucking even like really tried by putting an offer on the fucking table. Which seems fucking nuts, doesn't it? But wow, I literally just had this thought. What if they decided not to make that offer because they knew they had the easiest road to getting Warner Brothers? Marinate on that shit. What if they were willing to make that gamble because they knew the other thing wasn't as big a gamble as it may look? Right, Delta Dan? That is crazy they didn't back up a money truck. He did make Paramount Plus relevant. Like, it seems insane on the face of it, doesn't it? It seems fucking insane on the face of it. But yet they did it. And I can't help but think, probably in a bit of a tinfoil hat moment, admittedly, that they made that gamble because for them it wasn't as big a gamble as it appears to us. Yep. Again, total speculation and like tap dancing into the land of conspiracy. For sure. Fully admit that. But I still think it's a valid thought. I still think it is a valid thought. Excuse me. Any final thoughts on that, chat? All the shows are charting on that small ass streaming service. Yep. Yep. That is true. Makes you wonder, is Ellison's ego really that big that he's willing to gamble on losing all of that from his streaming platform? Or does he have an actual advantage? Is our speculation about his close ties with this administration and the somewhat less speculative statement from that White House aide, like, is it even more of a guarantee than we all think it is? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, Taylor Sheridan's departure is yet another reason for Paramount to get serious. Between that and Netflix, they better start doing something. They want that shit. Sheridan has a big ego too, rightfully so, but he did kill off Kevin Costner. Well, I think that was on Costner more than it was on Sheridan. Like Costner wanted to go make those two movies that completely and utterly failed. Actually, did he even make two of them? It was this big old plan he had for like fucking 4 to 6 hours of a Western. And it didn't end up working out that well, as I recall. So, yeah, that was kind of more on him. Yeah. But guess what, folks? We're not done talking about Taylor Sheridan. What? Yep, that's right. More Taylor Sheridan news. But it's much less. Well, I mean, it is kind of shocking. But this isn't about the sale. This does not tie into the sale like the last bit of Taylor Sheridan in this did. This is news for gamers and action movie fans. This is big news for gamers. So Sunday was the announcement of Sheridan going to be going to Universal for all that motherfucking money. Yesterday or the day before, it came out that Paramount is indeed going to be making the Call of Duty movie, and motherfucking Taylor Sheridan is going to be very heavily involved in it. Taylor Sheridan shocker. Paramount keeping him in fold for Call of Duty movie with Peter Berg directing. While Taylor Sheridan is known for his vast empire of television shows for Paramount Plus, his output on the film side has been as arid as a Texas drought. That is about to change. Despite the recent headlines of Sheridan decamping the new David Ellison-owned studio for NBC Universal, the cowboy isn't done with the studio just yet, and is actually in the process of landing one of the highest profile gigs of this career. I wonder if they meant his career. Sheridan is in talks to write the adaptation of the Call of Duty. I don't know, they didn't really need. They either needed to drop the or put movie in there. One of the biggest video games of all time. The deal making comes as Peter Berg, the man's man director behind such movies as Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and Friday Night Lights, is closing his deal to direct and also write the adaptation. Sheridan will also produce the feature, as will Berg. David Glasser, who runs 101 Studios, the production company behind Sheridan's shows, is producing as well. Call of Duty has been the top-selling game franchise in the U.S. for the past 16 years, despite its massive fall-off, from what I hear from a lot of people in the gaming community. A first-person shooter game, the setting spans various eras from World War II and Vietnam to the present day and to even decades into the future, with over 500 million copies of its various games sold over the years. Hollywood was stunned Sunday when news broke that Sheridan would decamp Paramount from NBC Universal, where he has a film deal kicking in next year and a TV deal starting at the end of 2028. Sheridan and Berg are longtime friends and have collaborated. Hell or High Water, the 2016 Chris Pine starring crime thriller, which received 4 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture and Best Screenplay, and the Jeremy Renner thriller Wind River. Well, now, chat, Taylor Sheridan's getting jiggy with it. Getting himself a deal worth up to $1 billion when he heads over to NBC Universal for All the Way at the beginning of 2029. Already getting to do movies with him next year. But yet, he's taking advantage of the fact that he's not officially done yet at Paramount to get on up in the Call of Duty movie. Co-writing it with Peter Berg, co-producing it with Peter Berg and the production company behind his TV show, and then Peter Berg directing. That's a pretty solid fucking team to make a Call of Duty movie, bro. Wonder what COD game the movie will be based on? That is a good question. Yeah, Modern Warfare would be good. Black Ops would be good. I don't know if I don't know if they'd go like historical period with it. Me personally, I wouldn't. I would go again with what you guys talking about, either Black Ops or Modern Warfare. Probably, I don't know. Either or would be dope. I can't decide right this second which one I would rather do, but or see on the big screen. But yeah, definitely one of those two. I don't think they should go historical. I think it should be modern day. I think it should be modern day. But guys, Taylor Sheridan co-writing Call of Duty movie, co-producing the Call of Duty movie with the person he collaborated on with movies that got Oscar nominations. I don't know what the fuck Paramount was thinking, not greenlighting this dude's movies, because what the fuck, dude, Oscar-nominated writer Taylor Sheridan, and now the homie's all up in the Call of Duty movie. Now, there is one burning question. Obviously, that's a shit ton of talent behind a Call of Duty movie. Like, for behind the scenes talent. But the question is, though, how much do they know about Call of Duty? And if it's not much, will they learn? I think they're going to be forced to learn, at least some. Why? Because Activision is all on this too. And they will not let them fuck up their shit if they're smart. They will not let Taylor Sheridan and Peter Berg go ham and screw with their shit to the point where they know it'll piss off their fans. If they're smart, they will not let that happen. They didn't let Steven Spielberg happen. They're like, nah, fam, you don't get Final Cut, and you cost too goddamn much. Peace! Now, when I heard that, I thought that was a big old dumbass mistake. And I still think it's a big old dumbass mistake. But a lot of that mistake has now been mitigated with this hiring. Yeah. They can figure it out with some YouTube videos. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think Activision is going to act as a check on them. Keep them coloring inside the lines when it comes to Call of Duty lore, as it were. I'm sure they're going to let them cook, but they're just going to be like, there's certain things you just can't fucking do, or you may have to do. But other than that, here's your kitchen. Make us a goddamn fucking high-end cuisine meal, please and thank you. So, were I a Call of Duty fan, I'd be excited. As an action movie fan, I am excited. Like, this movie's going to appeal to a lot of people. It's not just going to appeal to Call of Duty gamers. Action movie fans, it will appeal to. People who are fans of military content in general, this movie's going to appeal to. Right, Delta Dan? It would. That fucking heater's acting too slow. I might have to go put my fucking hoodie on, bro. It's chilly. But, yeah. Yeah, that would have been dope. Spielberg making a Call of Duty movie like that would have been sick. If Spielberg was doing it, I almost would say, if it was Spielberg, I almost might have preferred him doing like Call of Duty World War II shit, because it's Spielberg, and obviously he knows how to make that shit. But with Sheridan, yes, he has made historical spin-offs of Yellowstone. So it's not like he's not capable of it, but this version, I need modern day or into the future. Personally. I mean, I'm gonna go see that motherfucker regardless. Don't get me wrong. I am seated for that shit. It sounds dope on the surface. Now, like literally, the like they haven't even written it yet. This is just they're hired to write it. So we are literally at the beginning of the process. There is so much that can change. Like, if story concepts leak, people might think they suck, and that would be bad. Okay, that'd be bad. Okay. So, like, we're super early in the process, but at least right now, right this second, on paper, this sounds dope. I think that I'll put it this way: that movie has a extraordinary amount of potential to be fucking lit. Yeah, fucking lit. Fucking lit. A lot of potential for that to happen. Yeah. What do y'all think? Excited? Intrigued? Good idea? Bad idea? Like it? Dislike it? What do you think? And if you hadn't hit like yet, please do. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet or the bell, please hit those too. And also join the Discord. Game 7 World Series is close. Oh, that's cool. Like, because shortly before I started stream, I saw that fucking, I don't know, one of the Blue Jays, Bo something or other, fucking hit a 3-run dinger off of Otani. That's the last I saw. I'm guessing, since you say it's close now, because that was 3-0. I'm guessing the Dodgers have scored a run or two. Oh, okay, so the Dodgers scored 3 and the Blue Jays scored another one. Okay. That's fun. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure if Michigan won. We were doing okay before I started. But they were not doing anywhere near as well as they should have been based on the team they're playing. I'll say that. I will say that much. They should be taking this particular team to Pound Town, and they're not. Top of the ninth. Oh, shit. Ooh. All right. There's going to be some happy Canadians possibly here pretty soon. You see some Canadians ready to party. Party. Yeah. That'll be cool. Excuse me. All right. Let's get into this final subject here. So a couple days ago on the Film Threat podcast, Chris Gore dropped some details that he heard. So he heard about the Doomsday trailer, when we're getting it, and what happens in it. Okay? So, first of all, this shit better be good. Yeah, so I mean, it's been speculated for a hot minute about when the trailer would drop. So what he says is kind of more in the nature of confirmation of the speculation rather than like anything super new. But Everything he says about the trailer is super fucking new. So, oh, and by the way, Chris Gore is the only one who had the chair reveal. Scoop. He's the only one that had that shit. So, I don't know if his track record is completely amazing, but that was a big one to have, and he was the only one that had it. So, having something of that nature, he's, I'd have to say he's pretty well connected, right? So, let us listen to what he had to say.
Marvel. I spoke to someone at Marvel who saw a rough cut of the trailer for
Oh,
Avengers Doomsday. This is
69.
and there's a lot of things I can't mention. I'll just tell you what I can say. It's not anything groundbreaking at all.
Mhm.
One, the plan is this will premiere. The trailer will be seen with Avatar Fire and Ash. That's the plan going forward. Okay. It'll be seen there, which I think will actually really drive up the box office.
Mhm.
Right. So that's when people will see it. And that comes out in late December. Right. What is it? The 19th? You can look it
Yeah.
up. And the person who saw it said it's not finished, not completely finished, but he was this person, he or she, was surprised at the amount of footage they showed of Doom in action.
Mm.
It felt like, and this is my interpretation, it felt maybe a little desperate that they're really that when they say Avengers Doomsday, this is not a teaser trailer. You're gonna get not just a glimpse of Doom, you're gonna see Doom. And the way the character was described in terms of Downey's interpretation of the character is a classic universal monster,
Mm.
like the Phantom of the Opera. You know, the Lon Chaney
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera. It's a tragic figure and a broken figure, and part of it is uh, his armor, Doom's armor. Okay, Iron Man had the armor, and that was his superpower.
Yeah.
Doom must have the armor because he is a broken body, scarred, and he's going full. I was not my words, someone else's words. He went full universal monster with
Mhm.
the interpretation.
So
And
true Darth Vader and not Kylo Ren.
exactly. The suit, he needs the suit to actually function. Uh so this is almost, you're right. Darth Vader, it's like almost, and frankly, when I saw Star Wars in 1977, the first thing that popped in my head after seeing the movie was that's kind of like Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is green and metallic armor. Darth Vader is just Doctor Doom spray painted black. That
It all comes
look,
full circle.
that was my, and look, even George Lucas admits it was, he was influenced by Flash Gordon, pop pop art, Marvel Comics, so makes sense. So this is and then of course add the element that Doom uh has not just his technical and skill with science, also combined with magic.
Mhm. Which is very Doom.
Yeah, um so that's really what I can report. Looking at Avatar, which everyone really could have guessed that, not big news, but you will see a lot of Doom in the trailer. What this is Marvel planting the flag and saying, you know what? Boom. This is what we're doing. Get ready for it. And I do think based on what I heard, the fans will be excited. I mean, they're doing this trailer now 1 year out, at least from what the current release. a lot of people are saying could push 6 months. The fact that they're already shooting the second movie after completing, they're doing reshoots,
Yeah.
completing Doomsday. This will be worked on right up until the end. Secret Wars will be shooting. You can look it up. It's been announced, not a secret. That's shooting early in 2026. So there you go. When I can tell you more news, I will. That's all really I'm kind of allowed to say.
Yeah.
Any comments, Alan? We'll go to your comments.
All right. So, lot of Doom. A lot of cool stuff in that. Let's go back over it again. And this time, I'll play the pause game and offer thoughts and takes and speculation, maybe, depending on the situation. Here we go.
I spoke to someone at Marvel who saw a rough cut of the trailer for Avengers Doomsday.
Rough cut.
This is
69.
and there's a lot of things I can't mention. I'll just tell you what I can say. It's not anything groundbreaking at all.
Mhm.
One, the plan is this will premiere. The trailer will be seen with Avatar Fire and Ash. That's the plan going forward. Okay. It'll be seen there, which I think will actually really drive up the box office.
You guarantee they're hoping that
So
shit.
that's when people will see it. And that comes out in late December, right? What is it? The 19th? You can look it
Yeah.
up. And the person who saw it said it's not finished, not completely finished, but he was this person, he or she, was surprised at the amount of footage they showed of Doom in action.
Mm.
Surprised at the amount of footage of Doom in action. I like this already. This to me is a good idea. Like they need this shit. If for no other reason, to show Doom's dopeness to everybody right from jump. If for no other reason than to shut the people up who constantly whine and complain about Doom not being set up. Shut up. Just shut up. Thanos had less than 3 minutes of screen time before Infinity War. Infinity War did all the heavy lifting when it came to Thanos. Doomsday is going to do the exact same thing when it comes to Victor. It will be no different. But ramming Doom down these motherfuckers' throats, pause, in a trailer is a good idea. Even if they're not doing it for them. This tells me that they are definitely, on top of all the other evidence we've had over the last year or so, they are aware of the situation they're in. They are aware of the fact that they have lost a lot of the audience's trust. They are aware that they need to prove themselves. And dropping a boatload of dope ass Doctor Doom action, doing Doctor Doom things, is a good way to begin the process of winning these motherfuckers back. Good idea.
It felt like, and this is my interpretation, it felt maybe a little desperate that they're really that when they say Avengers Doomsday, this is not a teaser trailer.
To shut that motherfucking opinion up right there. if what we heard him say before and what we're about to hear him say again is accurate, it's that trailer's not going to come off feeling desperate. That trailer's going to come off feeling like, holy motherfucking shit! I cannot. I don't want to wait a year. Hurry the fuck up with this shit. That's what they're going for, and what I think will probably happen if this shit's accurate.
You're going to get not just a glimpse of Doom, you're going to see Doom. And the way the character was described in terms of Downey's interpretation of the character is a classic universal monster, like the Phantom of the Opera. You know, the
Okay, so this classic Universal monster tidbit I think is very interesting because I don't know, like I don't know like a ton about the classic Universal monsters. Like I don't know much honestly at all. But what I do know is they were scary not because they were I mean, obviously it was because they were monsters, but not because they were like horrifically fucked up looking or anything like that. It was because they somehow found a way to have a super just menacing, intimidating presence. Like just the fact that they were there and the aura they gave off was more scary than how they looked. Right? So when he's talking about Doom's interpretation being that of a universal movie monster, that works perfectly. Because, yeah, I mean, Doom in his armor, just in general, just you look at him, it's kind of intimidating looking. But, like, then you add in the way Doom handles himself and conducts himself and the way he speaks. And that's where the similarity to the universal movie monster will come in. Because, again, it's not anywhere near as much about the look as it is about the aura. That's what Universal movie monsters operated on. And if that's how they're doing Doom, ooh, baby, it's going to be good.
the Lon Chaney Phantom of the Opera. That look, it's a tragic figure and a broken figure, and part of it is uh, his armor, Doom's armor. Okay, Iron Man had the armor, and that was his superpower.
Yeah.
Doom must have the armor because he has a broken body, scarred, and he's going full. I was not my
Okay. So the first time I heard that about him, like needing his armor because he was like all his body was all fucked up, I was not a fan. I thought that was kind of some bullshit. I was like, what the fuck is this? What? Why? I did not like it. I thought it was stupid until I was watching Josh's stream, well, the replay yesterday, and he brought up that one shot where that was actually the case. So I was like, okay, fine. I mean, I'm still not a big old fan of it, but you know, it was in a one shot. What he described about the one shot sounded pretty cool, so I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, my initial reaction was like, I don't like that shit at all.
words, someone else's words. He went full Universal monster with the interpretation.
So true
the-
Darth Vader and not Kylo Ren.
Exactly. The suit, he needs the suit to actually function. So this is almost
I don't know this dude. Obviously, he's, they work together or whatever, but him just randomly popping in with the true Darth Vader, not Kylo Ren line is that's funny shit.
you're right. Darth Vader, it's like almost, and frankly, when I saw Star Wars in 1977, the first thing that popped in my head after seeing the movie was that's kind of like Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is green and metallic armor. Darth Vader is just Doctor Doom spray painted black. That
It all
look,
comes full circle.
that was my and look, even George Lucas admits it was, he was influenced by Flash Gordon, pop pop art, Marvel Comics, so makes sense. So this is and then of course add the element that Doom uh has not just his technical and skill with science, also combined with magic.
hmm Which is very Doom.
Yeah, so
That is the most important part of this whole thing with what they're gonna do with Doom in general. It's what's been missing from every version of Doom on the big screen previous. Not one iteration of Doom we've seen prior to now has incorporated the magic part of him. And that magic part of him is just as integral and necessary to his character as his genius and scientific and technical ability. Like combining magic and science is like his thing. That's what Doom does. Like, and when we're not talking like an average run of the mill fucking sorcerer here. We're talking borderline sorcerer supreme level powers, and in comics he's been sorcerer supreme a few times. He is like, we're talking second only to Doctor Strange in power level, and this is like classic Doctor Strange with the full powers of the Vishanti at his beck and call, where he could do practically anything, and Doom is right there with him in power and ability at sorcery. So the fact that they're including it and the way he's making it sound blatantly include it is fucking awesome, bro.
um so that's really what I can report. Looking at Avatar, which everyone really could have guessed that, not big news, but you will see a lot of Doom in the trailer. What this is Marvel planting the flag and saying, you know what? Boom. This is what we're doing. Get ready for it. And I do think, based on what I heard, the fans will be excited. I mean, they're doing this trailer now 1 year out, at least from what the current release. I, a lot of people are saying it could push 6 months. The fact that they're
Hell
already
no.
shooting the second movie after completing, they're doing reshoots,
Yeah.
completing Doomsday. This will be worked on right up until the end. Secret Wars will be shooting. You can look it up. It's been announced, not a secret. That's
I believe it's April. I think I saw a report saying Doomsday starts shooting in April.
shooting early in
Secret Wars, not Doomsday. Secret Wars.
2026. So there you go. When I can tell you,
All right. All right. So, chat. What do you think about that? Assuming it's true, of course. As always, assuming it's true. How do you feel about that? The fact that our first look at Doom isn't going to be in some like 30 to 60-second trailer. We're getting what sounds like a full-on fucking trailer right from jump, which is not completely unheard of, but very, very rare. And we're getting it a year out from the actual movie's release. Not unheard of, but very, 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 very rare. So, yeah, I can see how the more cynical would see this as a desperation move. And real talk, there's got to be at least a bit of that in there. Like, just like there was a bit of it in bringing RDJ back as Doom in the first place. Like, if we're being real, their desperation was a factor. I don't believe it was anywhere near as big a factor as others would like to believe. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But there's definitely a little bit of it there. To say there wasn't any level of desperation to all of this at all is ridiculous, because that's just a fact. And they should be desperate the way things are right now. Like, they should be. They should be going balls to the wall to get the overall fandom excited again. You know, get the normies excited again. Because no normies, no $1 billion movie. It's just that simple. That's just how it is. If you don't win the normies, you don't get no $1 billion movie. Yeah, so a full ass trailer 1 year before the movie comes out. And before we get a trailer of the movie that comes out next summer, 5 months before fucking Doomsday in Brand New Day. Now, there are rumors that we'll get, like, that there will be a Brand New Day trailer attached to Fire and Ash as well. That's been kind of a rumor. I haven't seen it gain a shit ton of traction, but, you know, it's out there. But yeah, so it's kind of weird that it's coming out before the trailer for the movie that comes out before it. That's weird. It's weird that it's going to be a full-on trailer rather than, like, you know, a 45 to 60-second teaser. You know? That's all kind of weird. Again, lends itself to the appearance, at least, of desperation. But what's in it, the content of it, if what he's saying is true, that it's a lot of Doom being Doom, doing Doom things, getting into Doom action, and not just showing off his technical skills, but his magical skills as well, that's going to blow the idea of desperation out of everyone who sees that trailer's motherfucking mind. They'll just be like, if that's accurate, I think he's right. I think fans are going to be very excited if that trailer is what he's making it sound like it is. And remember, that sounds that dope, and it's a rough cut. It's an unfinished trailer. Remember he said that at the beginning? That's not even like the completed trailer, and the homie was already that impressed with it. So, little sore from grandpa eating with a toddler and a newborn. But yeah, lots of Doom action. Science, technical, and magical. Doom, I'm still not, like, huge on the idea of him, like, needing his armor like Vader needs his. Not the biggest fan of that. It's in comics, so I'll deal with it. But, like, real talk, not the biggest fan. I mean, obviously, they could handle it, like, really well, and I'll be like, okay, cool, all right, fine, I take it all back. But right now, still not the biggest fan of that concept. But, you know, the idea of him being a tragic figure, that lines up with a lot of rumor and speculation up until now anyway, because, you know, the going thing that, like, He Who Remains fucked him out of being Doom in 616, and you don't fuck with Doom like that, so Doom's going to be angry. You know, he's probably going to, like, there's going to be some kind of, like, loss in his history. Again, he's a tragic figure. Of course, in a way, the Universal movie monsters were written to be tragic figures as well. So that's another aspect of that. You know, gone through so much shit that they've reached this point. Kind of a breaking point, in a way. So. What do you guys think? We've dealt with a lot of cool concepts in this stream. Shit that sounds good on paper. I think this sounds fucking awesome on paper. I think this sounds amazing on paper. What do you guys think? I think it sounds dope. And I am actually legit excited. I mean, I've never not been excited for Doomsday. I've never not been excited for RDJ Doom. But if this trailer is actually what Chris Gore is saying it is, holy shit. It's going to be crazy, and I think it will activate the fandom. If it's that good, there's no way it won't activate the fandom, like, in my opinion. I think people will go batshit crazy. And I think it could legit boost Avatar's box office. So any thoughts on that or anything else, chat? Because that's all the subjects I have for this evening. Yep, I know. Shorter stream. I know, not the normal chilling marathon stream, but there's not a whole lot of news to talk about, guys. It's just the way it is. It's the slow season. But, like, real talk, also, I'm pretty fucking tired. It's been a long goddamn week. Like, some rest is a really good thing. So, yeah. Obviously, if you guys got something you want to discuss, always feel free to bring it up. Delta Dan. Doom's tragic story starts when he saw a secret invasion and Gaia become the MVP. Well played, sir. Very, very well played. Very well played. I should change the thumbnail and the title tomorrow to what I was originally going to do. Maybe I'll get traffic to this stream. All right, guys. Like I said, I'm out of subjects. Unless you guys have something to offer, I'm going to go ahead and go relax, man. I am pooped. It's been a very long week. Next week's going to be... I'm due for, like, a lot of fucking long weeks ahead. Now, of course, if there's actually news to talk about, you know, I'll go for as long as it needs to. Pause. But unfortunately, there's not a whole lot to talk about these days. End of the year is kind of always like that, I think. Yes, thank you, Brooke. Join them in Discord. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. Become a member of the Basement Crew. We have fun here. It's pretty cool. So again, my apologies for the lack of duration this stream, but also not my fault. So much love, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for choosing to spend your time here in the basement hanging out and listening to me yap about this shiz. That's amazing that you guys choose to do that. So I really, really appreciate it. You have all my gratitude. Thank you. So, come on back Wednesday night at 9 Eastern. We'll see what the fuck happens at the beginning of next week. Then we'll talk about it. Aye. Have a good rest of your weekend, y'all. Later. Oh, yeah. It was a pretty good quickie. Ha, ha, ha. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you enjoyed the subjects. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. Excuse me. Hope you had a good time. Yeah, go buy some of Dan's sauce, folks. So thanks for being here. Much love, y'all. And we'll see you Wednesday night at 9. Have a good Sunday and beginning of your week. Later.